All right, how's everybody doing? How's my cooking family doing out there? I'm Jeremy Langlois coming to you from Houmas House Estate and Gardens, and welcome to one of our new little areas. You get a behind the scenes first look at, this is actually our banquet kitchen that I'm cooking in today in our great River Road Museum here at the Houmas House. If you haven't had an opportunity yet to come and check out our museum, the Great River Road Museum here at Houmas House, strongly suggest you do. It's really beautiful, really great exhibits. You can spend hours reading about a lot of the history from the Mississippi River down here along the Great River Road. So we're actually, again, in our banquet facility here and excited to go ahead and get cooking. So what are we cooking today? Well, you know, I love cooking comfort food items. And I love doing dishes as well that I really hope that, you know, I can do a stuffed lobster and stuff like that we do at the restaurant, that we do at a restaurant. And of course, definitely encourage y'all to do those at home as well. But there's just something about just down home items using ingredients that you can easily get at a grocery store this afternoon, buy a few things and boom, you're ready to go and do something. So the dish I'm doing today, sticking with that comfort food theme, is crawfish macaroni and cheese. You know, I absolutely love macaroni and cheese. I absolutely love crawfish, and we're, you know, I've made a goal for myself to do as many crawfish dishes during our crawfish season, which only has another month or so left. And so here is a great addition to macaroni and cheese that you can kind of liven it up with. Now let's kind of talk about macaroni and cheese, because you'll notice this recipe is extremely easy. You throw everything in a bowl, you mix it, and you pop it in the oven. But let's kind of break it down and go over everything. First of all, macaroni and cheese in general. And now I love, if you were to Google recipes for macaroni and cheese, you're probably going to scroll through thousands, each one being a little bit different. I happen to like this recipe because instead of it being this kind of creamy cheese sauce that the pasta is tossed in, this is actually, it's not creamy, but it's very cheesy. There's a lot of cheese in it, which really, macaroni and cheese, I think it just works perfect. So let me catch up what we're doing and how we're going to put it together. Again, extremely easy. I went to the store, bought some good old elbow macaroni, but of course, you could maybe use orzo pasta. Any pasta would be fine. We're going to do individual dishes, but you could do fettuccine, do the same thing, throw it in the casserole pan, bake it off. Fantastic. But I have some cooked off or elbow macaroni. This is 1 pound cooked off. I have it in a bowl. Now, watch what we're going to do here. I have some melted butter. Now here's a pro tip. If you happen to just have boiled off your pasta and the noodles are still hot, you drain it and put them right in this bowl. Well, you don't even have to melt your butter. You could throw your 2 tablespoons of butter in here and just mix it up, and the butter itself will melt right here in the noodles. I have here some pimentos, pimento cheese, classic. Pimentos and cheese go together great, but let me show you what I did. I have a jar, I open the jar. One thing I do anytime I'm working with pimentos is I will actually open the can into a little strainer, and then I'll run a little water over it and kind of sift through it, because I like to wash off some of that extra brine that the pimentos are packed in. I find that brine to kind of be a little overpowering and strong, so I like to rinse that off. So little pimentos are going to go in here. Now we're going to start with the cheese. Now I'm using 6 different cheeses. Now the main cheeses that are going to be the base is 2 cups of grated mozzarella and 2 cups of sharp shredded cheddar cheese. Now I think these, of course, this recipe is extremely versatile. You could use really any cheese that you wanted, but I think these 2 are 2 great melting cheeses that are going to be the base. And then all the other cheeses, we're not going to put a full 2 cups in if you follow our recipe, which is found on our website. You could really mix and match the other cheeses, but these 2 cheeses make a great base. So I have some mozzarella and some cheddar cheese. And then look, I just want to show you, all I did, of course, you can grate right into some good old-fashioned Swiss. You can put some Swiss in there. We're putting about a half a cup, but I got some grated right here. Well, actually, that's the Parmesan. Here's the Swiss right here. I got some Swiss cheese. I got some Parmesan cheese. Also, I wanted to show you, again, I'm not the food police. You can absolutely go to the store and buy packages of grated cheese and just put those right in here. Fantastic. That's going to work out perfect for this recipe. Or you can grate some cheese yourself or mix and match. Awesome. That's all going to work out great. So we've got mozzarella, cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, Swiss cheese, a couple different interesting cheeses we have in here. One of my favorites, go-to, some smoked Gouda. I love smoked Gouda because the fact that it is smoked. I find whether it's smoked Gouda or sometimes you'll see at the store smoked provolone cheese, these are all great because this is going to add this nice smoky quality to the macaroni and cheese that's going to be different if you've never had this smoked cheese in here before. So that's going to be really fantastic. Adding the Swiss cheese in here, I really find the Swiss cheese melts up really nice in testing this recipe. You're going to find that when you eat this macaroni and cheese, it's extremely cheesy, meaning there's just so much different cheese, but it doesn't have this heavy cream sauce. It's just all just pasta and cheese, which is just is going to work fantastic with this. So a little bit of smoked Gouda goes in there. Here I have some Fontina cheese. Another great cheese, another great white cheese that's gonna go in here. And I got, again, all these different cheeses. And if you look down into this bowl, I'm just gonna start mixing all this together and just kind of folding it in evenly. I have all these different great cheeses. Again, the shredded mozzarella and the cheddar cheese is a great base that you put 2 cups of each from the recipe in. But then from that point, it's really just mix and matching what you want. You can do anything. If you wanted to put a blue cheese in it, play around with it. You could put blue cheese in it. But if you're a blue cheese lover like I am, I think that would be a nice, fantastic thing, but you probably want to be careful with it because a cheese like blue cheese is extremely strong and can overpower everything, which as a blue cheese lover, you'll either like or you just adjust as needed. You know, cooking a lot of times is just experimentation. Use these recipes I give you as a guide. And again, if you have any questions, we love interacting with you. I would love to see any photos you have. We love whenever you post them. Or if you have questions, drop them in our comments. I would be happy to try to answer them for you. So again, all our cheeses are in. Now watch what I'm going to add in here. Here I have cracked 3 eggs. I'm just going to kind of wish them around. And these eggs are just going to act as a slight binder that's going to kind of hold everything together. It's just going to kind of coat this whole mixture. And whenever it bakes, it's actually going to give the macaroni and cheese a nice kind of souffle quality. It's just going to kind of hold everything together and it'll kind of bubble up as it's cooking with the cheese and it's going to kind of lighten it up, make it a little fluffy. Again, that kind of souffle quality it's going to add. And look, so simple here, guys. We're just mixing and matching. We're just putting everything in here and mixing. Again, a classic macaroni and cheese, you would make a Mornay sauce, which is a white cream sauce, and you would mix it in it, and that's fantastic. But I love showing alternatives of, again, throw everything in a bowl and mix it. Now I got my seasonings. Now, oftentimes I always say season to taste, and I definitely encourage y'all to do it. But one thing I did for this recipe, sometimes when we're making these big batches, I like to go ahead and give you the measurements. So look at the recipe, and I have all the measurements on it. But I'm adding in salt. This is granulated garlic. A little granulated garlic's going to go in. Let's talk about that for a second because I love deep diving into every aspect that we do. Granulated garlic and garlic powder. A lot of people think they're the same. They're actually a little different. Granulated garlic is granular and a little more coarse, whereas garlic powder is really powdery. I almost never buy garlic powder personally. I find that for whatever reason, just through the processing that it goes through, I find it to be a little clumpy and a little bitter sometimes. So just something to think about as we kind of continue to cook together. Is that something you've experienced? I don't know, but that's things I find, so I always just err on the side of granulated garlic. This is a little cayenne pepper. Just a couple little shakes of cayenne pepper. It's going to give it some nice spice and some nice heat. If you're worried about it being too spicy, just eliminate it, no problem. And then of course we had our salt, and then we're going to come back with our black pepper. Finally, wouldn't be crawfish mac and cheese without the crawfish. I have a pound of Louisiana crawfish tails. I saw I was perusing recipes online just the other day, and I saw a crawfish recipe, and they said a pound of crawfish drained and rinsed. And I'm going to tell you, as a chef, me personally, I never do that. I never drain or rinse my crawfish because for me, so much of the flavor is some of that juice, which is actually crawfish fat, which is just rich with flavor that I would never want to wash that off. As a chef, I want to capture every little bit of natural flavor that I can possibly get. Now, once we're at this point, check this out, guys. Everything's in here. I'm just going to mix it up. I got all my cheeses, my 6 different cheeses. I have my seasonings. I have my crawfish tails in here. I'm being kind of gentle and just folding it, not to break up the noodles too much. And I got all my salt and pepper and cayenne and all that. And look how easy this is. That's the base. So I was getting some going right as we were starting, but I'm baking these off individually in ramekins. However, you can absolutely bake this off as you can dump this whole thing in a casserole pan, put it in the oven. I have my oven set to 350 degrees, and it's gonna come out perfect. However, I like doing little individual portions. Ramekins are fantastic, but we have these great little black iron skillets, and you know me and my love for black iron. I give them a little spray so it doesn't stick too much on the bottom, and then I'm just gonna load them up with this macaroni and cheese mixture. So in that goes. Let's go ahead and get 3 going. One more over here. And finally, to finish this off, we want to add a little crumble that's going to bake up and kind of get crispy on top of here. And what I decided to use today is good old Ritz crackers. You know, is there a cracker better than Ritz crackers? I was talking to my friend Jessie earlier, and she said no. In fact, she said she eliminated gluten for some reason in her diet. So she's been looking at these crackers like my German Shepherd Swayze and licking her lips. So I'm afraid she was about to come and attack it. So we're gonna have to be careful, guys. But hey, more for us because Jessie can't have gluten. Okay, whatever. So what I did was I put some Ritz crackers in a bag. And you can very easily just take some of the Ritz crackers and kind of crush them with your hands. Oh, Jessie has a question. You want to know how many Ritz crackers we got left in here that you can take home with you, Jessie?
Well, that. And also, 2 things. Someone wants to know if you added milk, if they missed it. And 2, where to find the recipe again.
Okay. All our recipes are, if you're watching this on Facebook, it's going to drop in Facebook on our feed any second now. They're PDFs. We love for you to print them. However, all the recipes we've ever done is found on our Houmas House website. If you go to houmashouse.com, all kind of little menus like websites have, but there's one that says resources on the top. You click it, little drop-down menu is going to come down from the resource tab, and you click recipes, boom. There's probably about 60 or 70 recipes there, all the recipes we've done. The milk question. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is what I like about this recipe. It's not really a creamy macaroni and cheese as far as you make a cream sauce with milk or cream. What's going to happen is we put so much cheese in here, and it's more of an emphasis on cheese. All that cheese is going to melt and get ooey gooey in the dish itself, and that's what's going to be the binder. So it's no milk or cream. It's all cheese based. So look, I'm going to come and again, this is just Ritz crackers that I crumbled up with my hands, or you can put in a bag and just kind of give it a little whack with your meat tenderizer, and that would be perfect. But now I'm just topping it off with a little sprinkle of these Ritz crackers, and now I'm going to pop it in a 350 degree oven. Got them going literally in real time right as we were starting. So let me bust out that. So this has been in what? Yeah, I don't know where we're at. If you click the bottom of this recipe and you see how long we've been cooking, this has probably been here for about 10 or 12 minutes. And you're really just looking to cook these off. Let me see. Look, I'm gonna move this right over here, Jess, if you want to kind of get a shot of them. But you're just looking for them to get a nice brown color on the top, and for it to get, when it starts to get melty and bubbly on the sides, that's it. It's done. Depending on how big your vessel is going to determine how long it takes. So obviously, if you're doing a big casserole, that's probably going to take 15 to 20 minutes. Whereas little individual ramekins are going to be 10 to 12 minutes is all you need. So look, we serve this on a little plate, but again, just a simple, easy, comfort food that anybody can be made at home. I may use crawfish in our crawfish mac and cheese. You could very easily take the crawfish out and just use it as a base macaroni and cheese, and it will be fantastic. Or get creative. You could add diced cooked chicken. You could boil some shrimp off and put it in here. A little bit of crab meat folded in here would be fantastic. Let me know what you come up with. Let me know how this recipe works for you. There it is right here. Love seeing y'all, and we will see you next week. Thank you.